All right. Good afternoon. Good Friday afternoon. It's April 24th. Yesterday, April 23rd, was Scranton's 154th birthday. We were hoping that yesterday we would be um, hoisting the third flag in Scranton's history, but we that's on hold so that we obviously can focus on all these other things. But we hope that next year for 155 that we can all celebrate in person and be in a position where we're really moving the city forward after this crisis. We still really need to keep doing what we're doing. I'm not sure if you guys out there saw the paper today, but I spoke with Jeff Horvath yesterday, and we really were talking about what the next couple of weeks look like, what the near term, the medium term looks like, and I commend Governor Wolf for being optimistic and looking, really county by county at what needs to be happening out there in terms of taking measures to lift precautions. Lackawanna County, however, and I think our whole region, as you saw the graphic on the front cover of the Scranton Times today, we're not there yet. We're not ready yet, and we're going to need to continue to work really hard here to have those precautions in place. So please continue to stay home. You are saving lives. The numbers of cases, the numbers of deaths would be so much greater if we hadn't done what we've been doing, and we have to keep that down. I know I got a question yesterday about the hospitals. The hospitals are still able to care for the number of patients they have without going into overflow facilities, and we have to keep them under that level. So everything that we're doing, all of this stay-at-home stuff, it feels crazy. I know some of us feel like we're really just at our wits' end, but we really are saving lives. So figure out those things that help calm you. Go for a walk. Wear your mask, please, but go for a walk. Set up, if you have the internet, if you have a computer, set up those conferences, those tele and video conferences with friends and family. Keep using each other, and keep getting your physical and mental health as a priority also. So it's really hard right now, I realize, but the parks are open, not the team sports and not the playgrounds, but those are open. Naog Park is open. Pennsylvania American Water is keeping Lake Scranton open. Those resources are there for you to use, but the rules still apply that staying home and wearing a mask does save lives. So if you're going to go for a walk, please don't take your entire family, stagger that so only one or two of you are going at a time, so you're not filling up a whole path, or walk with enough space so that people can pass you safely. And please don't litter. That's something that we've been having trouble with. And I had some of our staff just do a little search over the last few days. Litter, I'm not sure why it's a problem all over the country. I don't get it. I know the folks that watch these town halls are people, not people that litter. So if you know somebody who's a litter bug, please tell them to stop. All that does is ruin the experience of the parks and the outdoors for everyone, and it puts us in jeopardy here at the city, because it's my public works and parks and rec staff that has to clean up after you. So please understand the dominoes that fall if you litter and what happens there. So thank you for not littering, and keep that mental and physical health up. So I wanted to also today really touch on some of the small business issues that we're looking at. Last night the Senate and Congress finally got to a deal and finally passed another package of payroll protection program funding. And I'm very excited. Today we have Dan Centinello, who is the president of Fidelity Bank. They've been steeped in this PPP program for, I guess, I don't know, it feels like years probably. It was just a few weeks so far, but Dan can explain a little bit further how to access that next round of funding. Dan, are you on?
I am. Can you
Great.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Sure.
yeah, so I know we have had some businesses in Scranton that have successfully applied for and gotten funds through the payroll protection program, the PPP, and that's wonderful. I know that the plan ran out of funding, and there's still a lot of businesses out there that either didn't get the funding or that would be curious how to access it this second round. So if you could talk about how to apply, who qualifies,
Sure.
that would be a great start.
Sure. Yeah, I think everybody's aware that the first round of funding went very very quickly, and in that first round of funding, what we've seen is financial institutions, a lot of the larger organizations with a larger number of employee base, make application for those. And you can go to any of your banks, local banks. Fidelity Bank has now had over 1,000 applications here in the Northeast. But again, the first round seemed to be predominantly the larger firms, and the second round we've seen some of the smaller companies. And I think one of the things that most folks are not aware of, regardless of your size of number of employees, even if you're self-employed and you don't have any employees, you would be eligible. Again, as long as you're filing a Schedule C on your 1040, which a lot of the small businesses that don't even have any employees are applying. As long as you had a profit in 2019, you're eligible for a PPP loan, and again, much of those dollars, the intention of those are to be forgivable, and many of those dollars would be immediately forgivable for those Schedule C filers. And also, if you're a sole member LLC, that would flow down to your Schedule C. But really, you don't have to have employees, and I think that's the important part that most folks don't understand. As long as you're in business and you have revenue and you have a profit, you would be able to apply for this PPP loan.
Yeah, I actually didn't realize that myself until you and I were on the phone this week, that a sole proprietor could apply. So that's such good information to understand that these funds are available for sole proprietors. It's like so many things, it gets tough to understand what the actual program looks like, because you hear about the big national companies, you hear about them in the news, and you might not realize that you yourself are eligible. Do you have any sense of the timing of when that opens?
It sounds to me as if at this point it's going to open back up Monday. The SBA will be taking applications from banks on Monday. Okay. And so the anticipation these dollars are going to go pretty quick. Some of the larger banks have a large queue that they're going to look to get into this round of funding. And so I would encourage anybody who hasn't applied yet to get to your bank ASAP. These dollars may go within 2 or 3 days. I mean, again, there's really nobody knows on this round of funding, but they are anticipating go quicker than the first round. So I would encourage everyone to get to your bank ASAP. Many of them have online portals like Fidelity Bank where you can apply right online. It's going to require you to upload some information, but the process is pretty quick. And so I would really encourage everybody to get your applications together over the weekend. Fidelity Bank and most of the community banks have links where you can get applications, a really detailed explanation as to what you need to do to apply. But again, I would encourage everybody to get to it pretty quickly.
So what if I am a small business owner and I don't have an existing loan with the bank? How can I access this program?
Yeah, so what I would encourage everybody to do, if you don't have an existing account, call center. They're geared up for non-customers to be able to help them through the application process. For those that are customers of the bank, it's a little bit easier to migrate through it. But again, what I would encourage, call our call center, 570-342-8281, and you can call them, and they'll help you through the process. They'll tell you exactly where you can gather the information and who to talk to. Okay,
so that's a great piece of information also, because it felt, at least on the first round, that in the scramble to get things out, that you absolutely had to have a relationship with the bank. It's not necessary for the program. It's just functionally that was maybe kind of the case because it was such a quick process and the money ran out so fast. So it's not that you have to have taken a large business loan from a financial institution to qualify. It's that you just need to get that application in. So that's so helpful.
Yeah, we've had loan amounts range from anywhere from $1,500 all the way up to $10,000 or $10 million. I'm sorry, not 10,000, $10 million. So I mean, again, it's any size company, any size business, sole proprietors, up to 500 employee company.
Wow. That's amazing. And that's another reason I really wanted to have you on to say that yourself was, you hear in the news, oh, Ruth's Chris or Shake Shack, and you think, God, if I'm a small proprietor and my my shop or even my online business, there's no way I can compete with these guys. But that's not necessarily true. It's just that they're the ones that are going to make the headlines. That funding has been coming through to smaller businesses, and I think that that's a to give that gives me peace of mind that our local businesses will be able to access that, and that's really exciting.
Yeah, there's been a real concerted effort to get this out to Main Street businesses. It really has. I mean, right. And again, I would encourage all of you to apply.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Dan, we'll get the Fidelity info up there. My team is going to put up the NEPA Alliance Small Business Development, the entity at the University of Scranton, and then the chamber information. We've been sending people there this whole time to navigate some of these programs. So we'll make sure to repost all of that for all of you out there. But Dan, thank you. You guys are always so helpful and quick to come to the aid of the small businesses in Scranton, and we appreciate having you in the community.
No, thank you. I mean, and they are the heart of our community, small businesses. So right. Anything we can do to help.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. And sounds like you have another very long weekend of work ahead of you. But that goes for all of us out there. So.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, having that PPP second round of funding is great, and I think this call should remind us that there's really no business too small to apply, and you should apply. So try to get those applications in. My team at the city, we are looking at how we might be able to supplement that national program with a local program. We're putting that together as quickly as we can to see if we can't do that. But in the meantime, absolutely apply for that federal program. And like we do here at the city, we'll try to fill the gaps as much as possible. Because I know that those federal dollars are only going to go so far. But in the meantime, today's the day, this weekend. I know all you business owners out there are already before this crisis, we're working 24 hours a day, so it's really no different. But get those applications in. It's some work, but I'm sure you have all that information at the ready, and take the time to get it in, because that money really is going to small businesses. Even if you only really hear in the news about the larger ones. So get that money in, or get those applications in. Let's see. And I apologize. My daughter is in the other room. I'm sorry if she came in there for a little bit. It's nap time. Okay, so yeah, Small Business Administration. Okay, let's see. So if you can go to sba.gov/funding programs/disaster assistance to get a rundown on availability. Last Friday, we had Steve Ursich from the NEPA Alliance on. That phone number is 570-655-5581. Again, if you have questions about the various loan programs and even some of the grant programs out there, 570-655-5581. University of Scranton Small Business Development Center is 570-941-7588. All of these entities are out there to help you, so make those calls. Don't think you're alone. I know that small business owners, sometimes it feels like you're trying to figure out everything on your own, but there really is a support network out there, so please use these resources. They really are there to help you. And all right, now back to the stuff that there's an economic piece, and then of course there's the health piece. So we still continue to see cases click up here. I will say I'm heartened, and so are some of the hospital staff and doctors I've talked to this week, that one of the metrics they look at is the doubling rate for the disease. It's really scary when the doubling rate is a few days. Right now, the doubling rate is far past that. I think it's multiple weeks, maybe even 3 weeks for cases doubling, which is a good thing. That shows that we're on the right track. But these case numbers keep going up. The death numbers keep ticking up. People in our community are dying. People across the state and the country are dying. A lot of them are our older adults in nursing homes. It continues just across the country and the world to be an issue. So even though it might feel like, gosh, I can go out and talk to so-and-so or meet with my friend at the store to pick up lunch, like, really, please, it's not really about you. It's about protecting the person that you're talking to that goes home to a grandparent, or somebody that goes home to someone who works in one of our long-term care facilities and might unwittingly be be passing that on to really vulnerable populations. So please remember that when you think nursing home, it's not just, oh, there's some people in a nursing home down the street, but I don't know them. You might not know them, but you know somebody who knows them, somebody who works there, and we've got to continue to protect our older adults. I have been in touch with the Department of Health. Like I said, we've been in touch, Chief Lucas especially, and I have been in touch with the Department of Health in our various channels this whole time. But for the nursing homes, the Director of Quality Assurance at the Department of Health, they are in touch with the nursing homes every day. They're in touch with the hospitals. So the information flow is going back and forth, but I know that they're working hard to try to address these issues. And as we've spoken about before, there are some structural issues everywhere that we already knew about. We already knew that nursing homes generally could be better, have better oversight. We knew that the City of Scranton should have a health department, and that's something that I came into office knowing, and I guarantee we will be fighting for that as we move forward with this. So there's a lot that we want right now that we just don't have in place. And that goes across the board, federal level, state level, county level, city level. There's so much here that I think we're going to learn from this. But we know that right now in this moment, there's only so much we can do in the immediate term. And so for all of you out there, wear a mask, stay home, don't go to the store more than you have to. I did see a lot of people without masks yesterday. I was doing some stuff around town, just dropping some things off on people's porches. And I really can't emphasize enough that the masks are cool now. The hashtag, I think, is rock the mask. Rock the mask when you leave your house. And I think, who was it? Somebody said to me, well, you remember at certain times before, people, it wasn't cool to be afraid of secondhand smoke. And then all of a sudden it was, oh my gosh, really people, it's not even a question that people don't smoke around others who don't prefer that to happen around them. Maybe the masks will become that type of thing where we just wear them. This is going to be a long haul. We might be wearing masks for a long time. So just get used to them. I think they're really annoying. We all think they're annoying. They're hot. We get it. But it is really protecting others. Your mask protects the person you're talking to, and vice versa. So it's about showing that love and gratitude for the other person and their families by wearing that mask. Let's see. Okay, I wanted to do a court update. Again, President Judge Michael Barres extended the judicial emergency to May 31. Lackawanna County Prison has confirmed one case in a staff member. That individual has fully recovered, remains in quarantine. And the federal and state courts continue to review detainees on a case-by-case basis. So the issue of our prisons is still being looked at. I think that the state and the county are looking hard at that from a COVID perspective, and I think also they've been looking at it from a criminal justice perspective, and that's a positive thing moving forward. To update you, so we did announce on Wednesday that there is a case of a city employee that has COVID, and we appreciate everyone thinking good thoughts for that individual and the family. We've been in touch with the family. We're in very close touch with them, and we're cautiously optimistic that we'll have good news coming soon. Let's see. Okay, so a couple updates on our own emergency declaration. We are extended technically at this point until April 30th. I will next week extend that emergency through at least May 8th to match the governor. And we're tracking it to see if we might extend ours past May 8th, or maybe the governor will in the interim. The governor did, however, lift the ban on construction. So new construction begins statewide on May 1st. Construction can happen starting May 1st. That's statewide. Our Department of Licensing Inspections, Code Enforcement, can help you with any of those questions. I should have that number off the top of my head. Megan will put it in there, and I'll say it before we get off the call. So that's exciting news for contractors. It's exciting news for business owners trying to get projects moving forward. But of course, the masks and the social distancing all still apply. So if you are in the construction business and you are going to move forward on May 1st with construction, you're welcome to do that. But please continue those social distancing practices. It's really, really, really important that we do that. Okay, let's see. So on the unemployment end of things, the PUA, the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance new program for independent contractors, is live. That is very exciting. You can go to uc.pa.gov. You can submit backdated claims to January 27th. And generally with unemployment, I see a question coming in right now. We are trying to get more information from the Department of Labor and Industry. So let me just read the question from Marilyn. My husband applied for unemployment a month ago, haven't received a PIN number, can't get through, no response. So without a PIN, you cannot claim your biweekly hours missed. So we are trying to figure out a way to help you. We've been working with Senator Blake's office as well. They're working on it. As soon as we have any insight on how to get ahead and get that to work faster, we will let you know. In the meantime, uc.pa.gov and those phone numbers, get your stuff in the system as best you can. I can't imagine how frustrating it is. It's extremely frustrating. I know that folks out there need those checks, they need those dollars, they need to be able to get food on the table. So we will update you as soon as we possibly can on any fixes for that system. I know that the state has increased their staff on that. It's just the system is overwhelmed, as you can imagine. The unemployment numbers are something that no one ever in the federal or state level ever thought would come out. So we are continuing to track that, and as soon as we have more information, Marilyn and everyone else out there, we will let you know. But in the meantime, it's a really tough situation, and I am sorry, and we're keeping on it as best we can. So on the food access front, we continue to see a lot of need. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there that are furloughed or laid off, and we are trying to help boost the resources that are out there. So next week, I think next week, 7 o'clock, it'll be YouTube and ECTV. The city, in partnership with the Scranton Area Foundation, we're hosting the Heart of Scranton virtual fundraiser. The funds will go to the Northeast Regional Food Bank, Meals on Wheels, and Friends of the Poor. Those are the entities that are really the backbone of food distribution in our community. Those entities can purchase food at wholesale directly. They can get the most food out to our neighbors as possible. So we want to help those entities out. The Scranton Area Foundation and Moses Taylor and a couple of other entities are doing a match program. We've already raised $80,000 for this effort. So we're going to really need everyone who can give out there to give. It's going to be a live, I think, to noon Thursday to noon Friday, I believe, is the program, or is the opening of the window, and then the event itself is at 7 p.m. So I know we have Congressman Cartwright joining us, and Senator Blake and the legislators, City Council President Bill Gaughan, and we have Katie Gilmartin, school board president, who will be on there. And then we've got a cool thing where we got local musicians to play music, which I think we all need a good dose of. So that's an effort there. But more importantly, if you need any sort of assistance, you can always dial 211, and I'll run through the list of availability for food coming up. The Friends of the Poor's next, the drive-through giveaway, Wednesday, April 29th from 2:30 to 5:30 at Our Lady of Peace School in Clark Summit. The Friends of the Four food pantries, as always, Jackson Terrace, Valley View Terrace, Monday through Friday, 9 to 12. The St. Francis of Assisi Kitchen at 500 Penn Avenue is doing a hot meal every day from 11 a.m. to noon. They're being distributed outside in takeout containers. And the food pantry, which is next door at 504 Penn, is open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. That bags of groceries distributed at the door. Keystone Mission, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 to 4 at 8 West Olive Street. Salvation Army Daily Food Box, call 570-344-9878 and schedule either a pickup or they are doing some delivery. So, yeah, drive-through pickup Tuesdays through Fridays, Salvation Army at 500 South Washington. So either pickup or delivery, Salvation Army 344-9878. And we appreciate all these amazing volunteers that are out there doing these things. It's just phenomenal. The big one for us here, Sunday, April 26th, though this coming Sunday from 1 to 5 at 401 Railroad Avenue in Scranton. It is the Scranton Dunmore Fraternal Order of Police, FOP, Lodge 2, and the Scranton Police Department doing a free pasta dinner. So very, I'm always extremely proud of the Scranton Police Department, but this pasta dinner is going to be really great. So it's, again, 1 to 5, 401 Railroad Ave, and I hope you're hungry because free pasta dinner, it sounds good and filling. We continue to push for the SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, to be moved or to be more flexible to allow for online. I know Senator Casey is pushing that too. So we've continued to lobby for that, and we hope that that will happen as soon as possible. If you're on the other end of things and looking for volunteer opportunities, and I know a lot of you out there are incredible that your families are in need, but you're also volunteering, that's just so cool and really speaks to the type of community we live in. The volunteer opportunities include helping the homebound, volunteer there by emailing volunteer@uwlc.net, or you can call 963-6740. The green and yellow papers that you can put in your window can be picked up at the back entrance of City Hall. Nextdoor.com/helpmap is another resource for how you can find volunteer opportunities or raise your hand and say, hey, I need help. Can somebody give me a hand? That's nextdoor.com. And then Lackawanna County Neighbor Assistance Facebook page has been really tremendous as well. Call Salvation Army to volunteer, 344-9878. And then Friends of the Poor also needs help, 340-6086. 340-6086. There's also an email address you can look at. We've said these before as well, excuse me. Food Bank, Keystone Mission, Meals on Wheels, United Neighborhood Centers, Make Masks for Your Neighbors, and then donating blood, 1-800-Red Cross. So lots of volunteer opportunities out there for everyone. And another thing that you can do is answer the census. So it seems silly, and you need to do all the other volunteer things as well. But if you can just log on, if you're logged on right now, just after the town hall, please go on to my20census.gov or call 844-330-2020, 844-330-2020. Answer that census. That census is how the City of Scranton is going to be able to fund things, fund transportation, fund firehouses and education. And there's all sorts of dollars that are based on census funding. We really need everyone to count so that for the next 10 years, we get what we need in the city. So it's absolutely crucial. Those 10 minutes that you spend now are important to you and your family. I mean, I think about it for, my daughter's 4 months old. She'll be in probably 5th grade, and that same funding level will be set based on what we do now. So that's a long time, and we gotta answer the census. Let's see. So maybe I am on to questions. Oh, before I get to questions, I wanted to talk about voting. So I sent out a letter this week to advocate to the state that they help the county send mail-in ballots to everyone. I'm not sure that that's going to be possible. However, you can go online at actually, Megan, if you can text me the website so I just make sure I know exactly. Um, Maybe I have it here. I just want to make sure I get it right. I don't want to tell you the wrong website. Um, yeah, votes, got it. Votespa.com. So votespa.com, you can register to vote and you can apply for a mail-in ballot application. Why is that important? Well, June 2nd feels like a long way away, but we all know it's coming quickly. Um, we don't want to be standing in line. I don't want to be standing in line. I don't want you standing in line. I think that legally, from a state perspective, we have to have some polling locations open. However, we want as few people going to the polls in person as possible, both for each other, ourselves as voters, but also for our poll workers, right? A lot of our poll workers are older. They're amazing volunteers, and we don't want to be having them have to see hundreds and hundreds of people. So the more people that sign up for that mail-in ballot application now, and that's again votespa.com, request that, get it in the mail, vote, get it over with, be done, have voted, have answered the census. You'll have done your duties as a citizen and exercised your right to vote. You can do it all from home. So please go to votespa.com. If you're not registered to vote, register to vote. You really need to make sure your voice counts all of the time, but especially in this time when we've got so much going on and we're seeing the impact of our elected officials at every level, federal, state, and local. You know, if you want, you need to have a voice in who is in those seats. So register to vote and sign up for a mail-in ballot application, please, so that you can vote from home and you don't have to go to the polls on June 2nd. So again, votespa.com. Let's see. Okay. All right, so we'll do some questions. Let me just reset here. Thanks again for all your patience, guys. It's a lot of devices in front of me right now, so I'm always trying to do a couple things at once. Okay, so Jordan asks, in Governor Wolf's three-stage plan to slowly reopen Pennsylvania, does that mean that the yellow or second phase begins once stay-at-home orders are lifted on May 8th? So Jordan, it's very much still in process. My understanding from watching those and getting the information from the governor's office is that the yellow stage is possible for some of those less densely populated counties up in the northwest and north central areas of the state. So I mean, we'll watch it. I don't expect that the yellow phase would begin here on May 8th. We know our numbers. We know that what we're doing is working, and we're keeping those numbers underneath the capacity of the hospitals. And thankfully, we're keeping back from those worst case scenarios, but we're nowhere near being able, in my view, to lift these precautions and restrictions locally. So we'll have to keep looking. But my educated guess here is that the yellow phase might happen for some of those less densely populated places, but not ours yet. Okay. Mary, I couldn't agree with you more. Everyone needs to wear a mask. She says she's seen people going into convenience stores, gas stations without masks, and sometimes the workers aren't wearing masks. We really need to be doing that. As we've talked about, it's really hard if you're a small business owner to add that cost on for your employees, and that's part of the reason that we're really trying to not only push those federal programs, but try to start up something here in the city that we can help with relief for small business owners. But it is imperative at this point that everyone is wearing a mask. So please don't be that person, don't be that guy, don't be that gal who isn't respectful of the people around you. Please wear a mask. Some people just are kind of wearing like a bandana that's over their face. That's totally cool. Make sure you're wearing it right, though. I've seen some folks kind of like wearing it, but their nose is still exposed. The whole point is that your nose and your mouth need to be covered. So please be covering that whole part of your face. If you need a mask, please just call us, 348-4101. We're answering that phone, and if you need a mask, we can try to match you up with a mask if you don't have one. People have been continuing to make masks, and we still have that Masked Bandits program. Is so cool. People are making them and dropping them at the firehouses, and if you need one, we can get one for you. So thank you, Mary. I agree. Okay, let's see. And then Larry asked, will you continue the video town halls when the pandemic has ended? Yes, Larry, I have just, this has been tremendous for me to be able to engage in real time with the community, and I plan to continue these. It's really been so helpful for our team to get some of your questions, some of your ideas, and your concerns. Certainly, there are things that are on my mind, but I don't realize that they're on your mind or vice versa. And it's so helpful to have this engagement. So I will continue these. And I really appreciate my team for working so hard on them. And I know it's a lot easier to do these things when you're all together physically. Thanks to my team for being awesome and continuing to do this remotely and bearing with me when I forgot to charge my phone like I did last week. So yeah, definitely going to continue these. It's and when you say the pandemic has ended, we're going to be talking about this for a long time. Hopefully not in an emergency capacity, crisis capacity, but when we think about wearing masks, I think we're going to be wearing masks for a while. I think we're going to be social distancing for a very long time. I am not sure what things are going to look like for the summer, for the fall. Uh, but I think I have to keep doing this, and I want to keep doing this because we're going to have to be in a community conversation about the pandemic itself for a long time, about the virus for a long time, and it's really important. But thank you all for everything you guys do and tuning in and sending us questions. It's tremendously helpful on my end. So over to the other device. Marianne asks, why aren't N95s available for the general public? So N95s, it's a supply chain and production issue. There literally aren't enough of them in stock to be giving them to the general public. They have to be reserved for the healthcare workers and first responders. So it's an easy answer at the top level in terms of production and supply chain, the global supply chain. But that's another piece. And to Larry's questions about, will you continue this? We'll continue it in part because we need to keep updating you on these types of things. Hopefully the supply chain of N95s will increase. Hopefully, obviously, and I wanted to touch on this too, testing and contact tracing. We need to increase all of these prevention mechanisms in order to fully lift off these restrictions and go back to, again, I don't like to say back to normal, really get into that next phase of our lives where we're able to have football games and concerts and go to the library and read with each other and go to dinner and go to the park and meet other families there. We want to do all those things so badly right now, and we need Marianne, to your part, we need more N95s for that. Maybe not N95s for that type of thing, but we need more N95s at the healthcare level and the first responders level for certain. And the things like testing, we all know how badly we need more testing. So we continue at the city to advocate for more testing. You've all heard, every governor out there, well, not everyone, but Governor Wolf and our neighboring governors in the states up here in the Northeast are advocating for more testing. We're working with Department of Health to see what are some efforts that we could do here along with the hospitals. So we're trying really hard to figure out what that longer term solution is. In the meantime, if you are feeling symptoms, it's still the same process. You need to call 1-877-PA-HEALTH, or Geisinger will take your call 284-3657. So call those numbers. If you're feeling symptoms, they will get you an appointment to get tested either at one of the hospitals at their testing tents, or now Mohegan Sun in Wilkes-Barre. If you have the means to get down there, you first have to call. So please don't call and don't waste the gas and just drive down. Call 1-877-PA-HEALTH, and they're ramping up that testing site. And I believe Rite Aid has a location in Plains as well. Megan, if you could grab that information, I'll say that before we sign off today, what the Rite Aid information is. You probably have to still go through your provider to get that, but we'll confirm. So let's see, Devendra asks, what's the status of the hospitals in our city? So luckily, Devendra, the hospitals are still able to deal with the level of COVID patients that they have. So it's good news, and it's a tribute to everybody out there who's been really adhering to the social distancing orders, but we have to keep it that way. So it's going well, or as well, really as well as we think we could expect, but we've still got to do what we're doing so that we don't increase those numbers. Aaron asked, do you know if the tax collector is extending the county tax deadlines? So my understanding is the county is now waiving penalties for property taxes. So we'll get them more detailed information there. As you guys know, there's so much, and I don't know if we grabbed that one yet, but my understanding is there will be no penalties for the property taxes. We are with that. This wasn't a question, but I know it's been a question before. So understanding is the county property tax penalty is no longer going to be charged, but we'll have to confirm that with the county. And for the city, for refuse bills, we still haven't sent those bills out because we have been working along with city council to get to something where we're giving relief to all of you out there. Our plan, I believe, and again, we're still working it out, but we will be not charging a penalty until after September 30th, I believe. And we're trying to work out we're trying to get it right where we can give a little bit more time to get that bill in the discount period, but also meet our fiscal obligations. So we're working hard for that. That's why the bill's not out. Thank you for bearing with us. And with that, please pay remotely. We have that ability. You can pay online. And we really don't want folks to think they need to go anywhere. There's actually nowhere to go right now to pay that bill anyway. So we really want it to do remote means. If you don't have a computer or are not sure how to do that, I'd say maybe call a neighbor or call a family member and ask them to help you and get the payments in once those bills go out. And let's see. Okay. Joan asked, will the city accept only part payments on city taxes? So Joan, it's a great question. We will continue to look at the financial piece of all of this on our end, see what that could look like. I'm also not sure what that looks like from an implementation perspective of how we would, what does our infrastructure look like, and how would we track that? So we really want to work with everyone. We also have to, keep gas in the fire truck tanks and things like that. So we're really trying to do the right thing where we meet the city's obligations and then also help the taxpayers who we know everyone's struggling. So we're working really hard for that, and I appreciate the question, Joan, and we're thinking about it. All right, Burn, thank you. I agree. Remind people to not litter. If you have a mask, gloves, wipes, why in the world would you put them on the ground? It doesn't even, what world are you living in? It's not like littering was like something that was okay pre-pandemic. We're not understanding it. So thank you, Burn. Please don't litter. I feel like a goofball having to sit here in the year 2020 and ask people not to litter. So please don't litter. Don't ruin the few things that we have right now to alleviate stress by taking a walk around the block, taking a walk in the park. Please don't litter. It ruins it for everybody, and it's actually it puts my team at risk if your mask is on the ground and then my team. I mean, they have PPE, but why make them pick that up? That's not fair to the city employees. Okay, thank you, Megan. So Rite Aid, the testing center is 20 South River Street in Plains Township. Testing sites are open 9 to 5, 7 days a week. They're expecting it to be able to do 200 tests a day. It's a drive-up testing location overseen by Rite Aid pharmacists. Now, the testing eligibility is based on guidelines established by the CDC. You have to pre-register, so this is very exciting. It's very cool that Rite Aid is doing this. That doubles the capacity from the Mohegan site. It's fantastic. You please have to pre-register. That's riteaid.com. So RITEAID, riteaid.com. And I'll remember, Rite Aid started in Scranton, so it's pretty cool that they're able to do this. Let me see. That's all the questions that I see on my devices right now. Let me take a peek here. Okay. Let's see. So when Marianne, when you say we need N95 masks for the general population, I mean that would be tremendous. Um, let's definitely try for that, but it's gonna be a while as that production goes, and as we still have to make sure those N95s go to healthcare workers. But the entire world is learning a lot about all of this right now, this supply chain and everything that's so important. So it's hopefully we'll see over the months, we'll see that availability increase. We've got to see more testing in order to move on with our lives. We need more gowns. There's all sorts of things that we need, and it's gonna be a long road, but I think we're gonna get there. So let's see. Um, Holly, you asked Mayor, will there be an extension on the tax due date? So the taxes are not. We're following the federal state guidance of July 15th. So your income taxes are not due until July 15th. So you won't have to file those taxes. And obviously, April 15th passed. Now you have till July 15th. I'm a terrible procrastinator on my taxes. I don't know about you guys. I do it every year. It's terrible. I don't know at what point I'm gonna stop procrastinating. But get those taxes in if you can. But you do have till July 15th. So let's see. It said Judy says the medicine shop on Pittston Ave has masks. I believe that Garrity's might have some too to purchase. Looks like Ace Hardware, Old Forge. Thank you. Okay. I was just on the phone with Senator Casey. He is the chair of the ranking member on the Senate Aging Committee, and he's really involved in nursing home issues and promoting more oversight in nursing homes back to his time at the Auditor General's office in Pennsylvania back in the 90s, actually. So he does a lot of work to promote that communication and that better oversight for the nursing homes behind the scenes. And I know that he's also helping me helping all of us advocate for funding for cities and states as we turn to this next federal package. So, Dan Santinello was on earlier to talk about that extra funding coming out of Congress last night, the PPP, the Payroll Protection Plan. That funding it doesn't include states and localities, but as we turn to, I think it's May 4th, they're going to be back in session and looking at another bill. I'm going to be working as hard as I can to make sure that there's city and state funding, and Senator Casey is helping as well. Representative Cartwright and I have been in touch this whole time with that too. They are really fighting to make sure that we get direct dollars here. It's a fight, as you guys know, that everything is kind of a fight right now in DC. But they're working really hard for us. And Scranton, I always say we punch above our weight. We do. And we have a very strong voice in DC and in Harrisburg. People know us, they think of us, and we have to continue to lobby. So that's something that I spend my time on. Same with testing. All right, well, one device down. Okay. Can I send? Yes, so Pamela for checks. So on the website you can see the you can pay bills by mail. You can pay by mail. So those links are on the website, and you will get that garbage fee very soon. Sorry, you'll get the bill very soon, and it'll have the address, of course. Let's see. Okay, garbage cans outside of, okay, garbage cans. So this is helpful on the how not to litter front. It'd be helpful if grocery stores had more garbage cans outside. I understand that. That makes sense. I see that. So it's a good idea. I have a little garbage thing in my car. So if I take my mask and glove off, I put them in the car and then dump them when I get home. Let's see. Yeah, and yeah, Pamela, so yes, checks by mail. Yes, we are no longer, or we are trying to have as little cash as possible in the system. And I heard, and I wasn't here last year. I heard that some people have a problem generally with their checks getting cash quickly enough. I will be on that. Pat Sheridan, my business administrator, is going to be on that. So we don't want people paying something and then having it hang out there, not cash. That's not fair to you. Okay, and then Rosie's asking about the DMV. So I know that the deadline, excuse me, for your licenses is extended. So let me just pop down to that info. Yeah, so vehicle registrations, sorry, driver's licenses that expired before April 30th now expire May 31st. So Rosie, you're okay for now. Well, if that gets updated, we'll let you know. But right now, you're okay until May 31st. For vehicle registration, safety inspections, emissions inspections, if you have anything that expired before April 30th, it's now May 31st. So those are both May 31st for now. Yeah, Trisha, absolutely. We were just on the phone this morning with one of our nursing homes that it's so hard that they are basically in isolation right now and they can't do their regular activities. We have we're working with them to see we're gonna in front of one of their nursing homes. I think we're gonna block off some of the parking spaces so people can make chalk art and do some things that might cheer people up. So we'll boost that on the Facebook page and promote that. And if there's a way for you to help, we'll post that up there. I'm not sure if you're able to send cards to the nursing homes. We'll find that out. Let me find that out and see. Maybe we can write cards to those nursing homes. It's a really great idea, and yes, you are right. It's been tough. I know that some of the nursing homes have invested in iPads and things so that the residents can be on FaceTime with their loved ones. So that's another piece of it. But we'll get that information out in terms of those efforts and how you can help. Yeah. So yeah, I know not everybody has a computer, and not everybody has a laptop or iPad. So that's why we have the phone lines here that in here and all the remote when I say remote methods, it doesn't have to be online. There's lots of mail in, everything you can mail in to for taxes and things like that. And anybody who wants to volunteer, there's the phone numbers. I read those off and I can read off a couple more. Pamela, if there's anything specific you're looking for, just make a comment here and one of the team will get back to you and we can get you that information. Okay. All right. 211, remember, is the what to dial, please, if you need help, rental assistance, utility assistance, food, social services. I haven't given the mental health line again. I really want to do that. It is tough out there for so many people. And that's another piece of that is, if you know of someone who you are worried about, that you're worried about either their mental health or you might be worried about domestic violence issue. I'll give you the Women's Resource Center line again also. So for mental health, National Suicide Prevention line, 1-800-273-8255. You can also text TALK or TALK to 741-741. That's anonymous 24/7 crisis support. And the State Department of Human Services has a new toll-free number for mental health support for COVID-19 during this pandemic, 855-284-2494. Again, 855-284-2494. Let me pull up the resource. Let's see. Actually, Megan might have to text me the resource, excuse me, the Women's Resource Center number, just to make sure that I get it right, because I think it might have a very long in front of me with all the numbers, but it's sometimes things get lost. Jerry, it's interesting that you just mentioned does President Trump owe the city money from when he campaigned here? So it's actually Fox News that we're billing for that visit, and hopefully we'll be able to get an update on that at some point. But yeah, it's great that Scranton is such a hub for political activity, and that, when we talk about voting, your vote counts. Scranton voters vote, and people here care deeply. That's a tribute to how many people are on these town halls and commenting. People here really do vote. We have a real voice. Again, like, we punch above our weight in terms of voice. So that's why people want to come here, and that's tremendous. And I welcome these visits. However, they are very expensive for the city. So it doesn't matter who you are as a political candidate. We need those dollars to come in to help me pay for that police and fire emergency presence. So it's Fox News that we are billing for that. Okay, let's see. So let's see. Women, Megan, if you can get me that Women's Resource Center number, I'll say that one before we go. Again, it's been a really big issue across the country. There was a national call about domestic violence yesterday. It's a really, really tough issue that we're seeing all over the country with people at home with their abusers. We're really worried about children, women, and men too. Men can suffer from domestic violence the same as anyone else. So if you know of anyone that you think might be in danger, Megan's going to get me that information. And of course, dial 911 if you think somebody's truly in danger and you need someone to come. Very concerned about that. I know that Children and Youth Services is working hard on that, and we have a lot of great resources out there, but this is one of those unbelievable, you could just never imagine this type of situation, and what a nightmare it can be if you're in a bad situation at your home. So if you think of any that might need that information, or if you need to call, you think you need to make a call for somebody to be able to do a wellness check, we want to make sure that we're doing that. So let's see, what else did we not cover? Keystone Mission. Yet again, I know people that are able to use Keystone Mission. That new the field house, Weston Field House, is now a 24-hour shelter and offering case management. If you know somebody who could benefit from going to Keystone and staying there, once you're on premise, you have to stay for COVID precautions. This is to protect these folks and also protect the whole public health. If you know anyone, the Keystone Mission is doing that in partnership with us at Weston Field. The let's see. Let me make sure I have the right number there. Let's see. Oops. Okay. Looks like I need the information for Keystone Mission, the phone number for Keystone Mission also. So Keystone and Women's Resource Center. So while hey Jason, thank you. That's great. So if you're over 60, call. If you're over 60 and homebound with no support, call 963-6740 to help out with food. So, all right. The name of the game is masks and staying home, and I know it's so hard. It really, really is hard. I know it's tough on all of us, but it is working. We are absolutely going to get through this, and I'm proud every day of everybody out there in Scranton who's communicating with the city, communicating with each other, volunteering, offering their resources, offering to help. As more opportunities become available, we will absolutely be putting those calls out there. We really welcome your ideas and your comments and your concerns. It's really, truly been just a really good partnership, we think, with the city and the community here. So our number is 348-4101, and the email, for us is scranton311@scrantonpa.gov. Thanks, Megan. So Women's Resource Center, if you know of somebody who you think might be in trouble, 570-346-4671. Again, 346-4671. If anyone's in trouble, then that's calling 911 right away. The Keystone Mission is 570-871-4795. If you know somebody that could benefit from the shelter, that would be really tremendous. 211 is is a line that can get you pointed in the right direction for resources of a lot of different things. So 211 is just the umbrella resource, that umbrella phone number to call for those items. So the sanitation workers, public works workers, they have PPE and they are under orders to use that PPE. So if you see someone that's not wearing those, please email us or call us and let us know that. That's at 348-4101 or Scranton 311 at scrantonpa.gov. That is absolutely what we need to know. The Lackawanna County number. The death numbers. So yeah, we've got to keep doing what we're doing. We've had a lot of those cases, and the deaths are, a lot of them are in the nursing homes, and we are doing everything that we can to continue to get them extra PPE, and continue to help them out. It's a full court press for everyone out there. We've got to keep doing this because we don't want to continue to see those numbers rise. Testing is a huge piece of this. If we don't know we're sick, even practicing social distancing, we might be putting someone at risk without realizing it. So we need more testing. We're going to continue to advocate for more testing. I'm very excited about Mohegan Sun and Plains. We'll try our best to see if we can get more testing directly up here. I know that Secretary Levine said that the Mohegan Sun location is for this entire region. They have to start somewhere, and that's good. But we'll continue to push for something that's up here too, and I'll be continuing to push that. So our numbers are not getting or trending down. So the numbers of new cases, the number of new cases has started to come down a little bit, Mike. But yeah, we're very much still in this. So we knew, weeks ago that these few weeks were going to be tough, and they are, and we have to keep doing this. So that's why I said in the paper, to the paper, that I don't see how in a couple of weeks we're lifting things. It's good in some ways that construction can start. The governor said construction can start on May 1st. That's good, but it makes me really worried because that means more folks that are going to be interacting with each other and going back home to their families. So, I know people want to be optimistic about that economic lift, but I'd much rather we continue to bear down, find resources to support those who aren't working right now, or those small businesses that are struggling. Find that support now, because I don't want to start lifting, because once we start lifting, I just don't see how we clamp back. And I think we all watching, listening, reading to the experts and me, and talking to infectious disease specialists, there's no question that this virus is sticking around. There's nothing to just tell us that during the summer, because it's hot, the virus will go away. There's no data that supports that. So we've really got to keep doing what we're doing, and I think I know it will get better. But there's no magic day of May 1st or May 8th where we can just say, hey, everybody get back to it. So thank you all for doing everything you are to continue what you're doing. Anything else? Can't read the paper. It's blocked unless we pay. I think that the COVID stuff, I believe that the COVID reporting is free access. We'll find that link and put it up on the Facebook page. I am quite sure I saw that at some point, that the COVID reporting itself is free access. So try that. Okay. So we'll post that for you, Mike, and Larry. I really thought that section, and we'll get that information to you to make sure. So I think, was there anything else? We'll post some of those resources again. Thinking about domestic violence, we'll get those resources reposted, and just keep at it, guys. I know it's so hard. It's hard for all of us. Like I said, husband and I wake up in the morning and we kind of look at each other and say, is this still happening? And the answer, yes, it is. And so we're all managing, we're all coping. We all have to be flexible. If there's one interesting thing about this, the entire world is going through this. I don't know of anything else in history where the entire world was experiencing this at every single level, every person, every household, regardless of income, regardless of religion, regardless of country boundary. It's going to be amazing to look back at everything that we've done to come through this. I think we're going to be together as a society. I think we're going to see a lot of positive things come from it. So, you know, document it for your kids, your grandkids, your neighbors. There's some wild stuff that we're going through, and so we have to, while we're doing what we need to do and keep the eyes focused, keep focus on what's in front of us and do our part. We also can start thinking about the future and all the interesting things that'll come from it. So everyone stay well. Thank you for all your communication. Larry, I think it was asked me, we will do these, I mean, in perpetuity, because it's deeply meaningful to me to be able to connect with you all. I appreciate your ideas, your questions, your concerns. You care so much about this city, and that's why I'm here, is because I know how awesome this place is. I know how much people care, and it's an honor and a privilege to serve. So thank you. Have a good weekend.